Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Danielle Battersby, and I'm an independent recruitment consultant. Thank you for having me here today to discuss and help map out a graduate recruitment strategy for the management team here at Oz International. Your Managing Director, Kerry Vargas, has identified an issue with your selection process in finding the most suited candidates for the role. Ikawaba, IJECA, and Uforma suggest that in designing and instituting recruitments and selection criteria, quality should not be compromised. We've identified the potential effects that a poor recruitment strategy and selection process can have on Oz International. If the company continues with the current recruitment strategy, you face financial loss, appointing graduates who cannot complete the work, a bad culture, damage to employee morale, and a tarnished reputation. I don't want to spend too much time here because it's pretty bleak, but it's important to see the effects a poor recruitment strategy and selection process can have on an organisation. We should now turn our attention on what we can do to improve the recruitment strategy and selection process for graduates at Oz International. You, the management team, each have very different selection criterion, which is to be expected, as you each work in separate parts of the organisation. And for each role, a certain personality trait or qualification is going to be essential. Jean, you mentioned that academic qualifications to you are paramount, whereas Kim puts greater emphasis on personality. So how do we effectively recruit graduates for each of your areas within Oz International and tick everyone's boxes? The answer is a well-developed recruitment and selection process. Kamari states that better recruitment and selection strategies result in improved organisational outcomes, which I think we can all agree is where we want to be. The selection process needs to be transparent and fair. From an organisational perspective, we want to ensure that the candidate feels comfortable and understands the process. This will help the candidate put their best self forward. Abiding by the Fair Work Act in terms of discrimination is crucial in having a transparent and fair selection process. Things to consider are gender balance, disability, and religion. Joe, I would like to draw on a point you made about wanting people who are prepared to get the job done no matter the personal costs involved. I can appreciate that the focus for you is on the end goal. However, you can't expect your staff, for example, to work unreasonable hours or forego lunch breaks. We need to ensure that we're including work-life balance for all staff. Overworked staff are prone to more health-related problems, includes Lana, which will only affect the team's overall performance and potentially tarnish the reputation of Oz International. Privacy. Recruitment should be a confidential process. Ensuring that records are managed correctly and information is protected is of high importance. What systems are you currently using to ensure this information is secure? Do you have a well-constructed position description for the role? Does it clearly outline the duties and responsibilities you expect from your graduates? Managing expectations is essential in building a strong workforce that embodies all of your expected qualities you want in a graduate. The information you are providing to candidates should be clear and in writing. Whilst we might expect someone who is dedicated and persistent, we can't expect them to work until midnight every night. If abnormal hours are likely in the role, make sure the candidates are aware by providing this information in the advertisement, position description, and at the interview. Some things you can do to improve the selection process at Oz International. Selection tests. Donna, this would be a great selection tool for you, as you rated intelligence as your number one criterion. Whether it be personality, aptitude, or competency, these tests are a great way to analyse a candidate's suitability for the role. Assessment centres. For a more comprehensive selection tool, assessment centres can provide more systematic results and test a wider scale of competencies. This is a great method if you want to test out a candidate in an actual situation. Brain concludes that there has been more interest in cost-effective methods of graduate recruitment and selection, such as the use of the internet and assessment centres. Social media. I'm talking about LinkedIn here. Cleppinger and Kane state that LinkedIn is the largest professional matchmaking service in the world. Have you done a search for the pool of candidates to review their professional profiles? Or have you advertised through this medium? It's a great way to target recruit if you have a specific type of candidate in mind. Review, review, and review. This to me is the number one thing to do. If what you are doing is not delivering the results you want, then something has to change. And what better way to identify than with an external review? Get someone from outside the company to reduce the level of bias and do a full review of the recruitment process. From there, you can do half-yearly or yearly reviews internally. Maybe interview some past candidates and see how they thought the process went for them. Feedback, particularly constructive, is gold. What are you doing to attract the best candidates? We spoke about work-life balance, but what is Oz International offering candidates to attract the best? Do you have a bonus program, flexible working hours, or a professional development scheme? Remember that graduates are likely to be Generation X or millennials, so they have different work ethics and expectations of employers than the older workforce do. They will likely be looking for the best employee benefits. Group decision support system. It's a tool selection panels can use to come to a consensus on a pool of candidates. Given you all have vast preferred selection criterion, this would be a good tool to evaluate a wide scope of characteristics in each of your candidates. Shi, Huang, and Xu completed a study where a wide scope of personnel characteristics is evaluated and the concept of consensus is enhanced. And finally, position description. Ensure that position descriptions are well constructed with expectations, duties, and responsibilities clearly outlined. I'd like to thank you for having me here today. I hope I've helped shed some light on how you can actively improve the recruitment selection process at Oz International to recruit graduates who are going to add value to your organisation.